I've prepared the way ahead for you.
So you've been in here before?
To a point. You'll see.
You made a climbing path for me, but left an army of machines for me to deal with?
Since when were machines any obstacle for you? If you could fly, I wouldn't have bothered with the climbing path either.
Don't look down. Don't look down. This is exactly the kind of place I expected to find you in, Silence.
Thank you. For years, I tried to get through this hatch. I drilled, I burned, I blasted. But we both know that you won't have any trouble getting through.
You make it sound like I should apologize.
Not at all. It never occurred to me that the way through would not be with force, but with a key. A key in human form. The failure of imagination was mine, not yours.
Looks like you've spent a lot of time here.
19 years ago, a great explosion destroyed this mountain. Gaia's death, your birth. The echo could be heard as far as the claim. Ash darkened the skies. How they fretted in Meridian as they tried to read this omen. The crater burned for weeks, but when it cooled, I was the first to behold what lay within. Over time, the machines closed ranks to protect it. Useful. Soon, no one dared to come here. Except me.
In her message, Gaia said we could restore her, but after seeing the damage, how could that be?
She said any effort to repair her must come after Hades is destroyed. I concur. Rebuilding the terraforming system now might allow Hades to use it as a weapon. Because of Gaia's sacrifice, it has been forced to search for means that are less convenient.
But do you think it's even possible to restore Gaia?
You know what the Cauldrons are capable of. How they fabricate any technology necessary to create a machine. By the same principle, it should be possible to replicate every technology necessary to repair Gaia. But that would take years. And we're counting the time we have left by the hour.
I thought you might actually be here this time. Actually, here.
Why? My presence is unnecessary. You don't need my help to pass through this door. You were the one born to do this, not me.
It's time for me to head in.
Yes. When you find the Master Override, you will gain the power to defeat Hades. Everything depends on you.
Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are clear to proceed.
Mind your footing.
Logging arrivals. Shan Margot.
Welcome to Frozen Hell.
guess that's my way across. Don't think, Aloy. Just do it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, glad that's over. This must have been where they lived. What's left of it. Once this was all enclosed by rock and metal.
Record. I just woke up. It's...
Elizabeth's room. I know it. She didn't even get a chance to unpack. These are her journals. Elizabeth's journals. And they're all destroyed?
Scan them. The Focus can rebuild them, but the process is slow. To us it seems a powerful device, but its engine is tiny and limited.
How slow?
Days, weeks, years. Concern yourself with stopping Hades and extending the future, and you might live long enough to hear them.
Elizabeth. What is this?
This is Charles Ronson. I'm logging this 6 hours after final deployment of Gaia Prime. This morning, an access port seal malfunctioned. Gaia Prime's port seals were designed to close with a seam of less than 2 millimeters. But this one closed with a 10 millimeter gap. Enough for an energy signature to bleed through. Enough for the swarm to detect this facility. Enough for Gaia to be discovered and destroyed. Enough to end the future we worked so hard to make possible. Unless the hatch servos were manually re-engaged from the outside. I'm now switching to a recording of the event.
Well, I'm not going out there. Not what I signed up for.
Either we send someone out, or all of this was for nothing.
It should be Liz's decision.
So when is she going to get here?
She said 5 minutes. You don't think...
Oh no. Okay, everyone. I've repaired the seal. Gaia?
Seal closure at 1.4 millimeters. Confirmed.
Elizabeth, no. We'll find a way to bring you back in.
It's not gonna happen. The swarm's too close. Really. It's alright. Gaia's complete. She'll take care of things from here on out. That's what she does.
Not like this. There's so much we...
Guys, you know me. I'm making endings. At letting things end, so, let's not.
So, happy trails, Liz. And, see you around.
Yeah. Take care of each other, alright? I'm okay with this. I want to go home. Goodbye.
That was the last transmission of Elizabeth Sobeck. She gave everything for the hope of life on this planet. And we are all in her debt.
Aloy?
She's gone. Really gone.
You knew she couldn't have survived, Aloy. And her achievements were beyond exceptional.
While her people bickered, she was the one who took responsibility. The only one who could.
She was better than them.
That's not what I said.
She was. You shouldn't be afraid to admit it.
Can't you just for one moment stop calculating and let yourself feel? She sacrificed herself for her friends, for the future, for life on Earth. Doesn't that stir anything in you? The generosity of it.
You're trying to invest her decision with something magical. It was a rational choice, not based on sentimentality.
You're wrong. Remember, she knew it wasn't enough for Gaia to think. She taught Gaia to feel, to care, to sacrifice, to believe in life, enough to fight against hopelessness. If it wasn't for that sentimentality, life would have ended. You and I would never have existed.
Your argument is sound. I'm sorry for your loss.
She said she wanted to go home. Maybe.
What?
Nothing. It's time to go on. There's another section at the back of the crater. Looks like it survived the blast.
Because it was armored, you found the control room.
I'm on my way. When I opened the hatch, the air rushed in from this side.
Because there was none inside the chamber.
But the Alphas were in there.
I'm locked out of core control. Alpha clearance overridden. What the hell is Omega clearance?
Oh no.
Alpha personnel. Sorry to alarm you, but I need you to listen, okay? To what I'm about to say. This isn't easy. See, please, stop trying to access the system, okay? See, what this is about is, I said stop trying to access the goddamn system. And what I'm trying to say is, I can't stop thinking about the ones who come after us. Those innocents. Those blameless men and women. We're gonna give them knowledge? Like it's a gift?
Ted, we've talked about this before. Apollo has 3,000 plus fail-safe conditions.
It's not a gift, it's a disease. They're the cure, and we're gonna give them the disease. Our disease? No, we can't. And it's not too late. If we're willing to sacrifice.
It doesn't need to be like this.
It already is, Samina. I did it 3 minutes ago. I've purged Apollo. It's gone. All of it. Every copy.
Sacrifice? It's not a sacrifice. It's cultural obliteration, you crazy bastard. Millennia of culture.
I'm sorry. Really, I am. But sometimes, to protect innocence, innocents have to die.
Emergency alert. Detecting atmosphere.
He killed them all.
So this is why. This is why we were trapped in benighted ignorance for an innocent future. Blameless men. He never saw the slaughter in the Sun Ring. Everything these people achieved, all the knowledge of the Old Ones, evaporated, turned to dust, scattered to the void, like the Alphas themselves.
No. Not a void. When the hatch unsealed and scattered their ashes on the wind, it took them out among the world they made. The world we're living in. It's a monument to what they died trying to accomplish.
A monument to oblivion.
Not oblivion, silence. Hope. The Master Override. It's so small.
Now all you have to do is kill Hades with it. Try not to fall to your death. The Master Override doesn't override gravity. Try not to fall to your death. The Master Override doesn't override gravity.
Keep holding, keep holding. here?
For a moment.
What?
Our journey together has come to an end, Aloy. But before I go, I think I owe it to you to tell you the rest of the story.
Go on.
Some time ago, I admitted that I'd been involved with the Eclipse. But I never told you the full extent of my culpability. The truth is, I was there at the beginning. I found Hades, Aloy, buried on that mountain, trapped in that shattered titan. And I served it.
What?
It promised knowledge and delivered. Such knowledge, you have no idea.
And in exchange?
I helped create the Eclipse. Helped it build a cult, an army to do its will.
Why are you telling me this now?
Because your success depends on knowing this. When I found Hades, the first thing it wanted to know about was the Spire. Not Meridian. The Spire. Now why would that be?
The Spire was created by Gaia.
Which part of Gaia?
Minerva. Its code-breaking module. Gaia built spires to transmit the codes that deactivated the Pharaoh robots, shut down their biomatter conversion systems. Hades wants to send a new transmission. To wake the machines, so they can devour the world all over again.
Yes. Based on what we've learned, that's my conclusion as well.
So the Eclipse... the robots they've resurrected... they're just a means to an end. An army to capture the Spire.
Yes. So Hades can exterminate life all over again. Unless you stop it.
I want you to tell me everything. Hades, the Eclipse. Everything.
It's a long story, Aloy.
Then get started.
It began with a focus. Recovered from an ancient ruin, as yours was so many years ago. In my case, the device was heavily damaged. There was just a flicker of life in it. I spent weeks studying it, attempting repairs, until finally, I succeeded. A whole new dimension of perception revealed, right before my eyes. That's when I detected it. A faint signal. Out there, something was searching, just like I was.
A real kindred spirit.
I followed the signal to its source. A shattered titan, buried in the jungles of the Jewel.
So you thought it was a titan? An old war machine?
I didn't know what to think. I'd seen such wreckage before. The Grave Horde, for example. But this was different. This was not quite dead. It couldn't speak when I found it, until my repairs gave it a voice. So began an exchange of knowledge. It wanted to know everything about our world, its tribes and machines. But the Spire was always its foremost concern.
What did it want to know about the Spire?
Its precise location. The surrounding geography, who controlled the land. Meanwhile, Hades revealed to me many of the intricacies of ancient technology. It bid me to recover and repair more focuses. Before long, I had a couple dozen up and running.
Enough to equip a small army.
The commanders of one, anyway. I didn't care. I was learning so much. Physics, calculus. You have no idea.
And the Shadow Carja? How did they become involved?
The Carja Civil War was a happy coincidence. A perfect opportunity.
An opportunity? That's what it was to you?
Yes. Overnight, half the tribe was in exile, desperate to win back Holy Meridian. Their religion made them easy to manipulate. All I had to do was present Hades as the buried shadow of their mythology. So yes, it was an opportunity. I arranged for High Priest Bahavas to meet with Hades, Helis was there as well. And so the Eclipse was born. Anything to win back Holy Meridian.
But Hades didn't care about Meridian. And neither did you.
We live in a world of fallen cities and vanished tribes. What were a few more? Besides, I was too busy setting up the cult's focus network to Hades' specifications. A thrilling technical challenge, especially with the alterations I included of my own design.
The ability for you to spy on them.
Yes. I may have been foolish enough to serve Hades, but I was never so foolish that I trusted it. I installed what the ancients used to call a back door in the network. Secret access, empowering me to monitor all activity and communications.
What made you turn on Hades? It certainly wasn't your conscience.
Actually, I was troubled the first time I saw the Eclipse raise an ancient war robot with my technology. I questioned Hades about its intentions.
A little late.
Indeed. I'd already outlived my usefulness. When I completed work on the Focus Network, Hades summoned me to receive my reward. The next moment, I heard it broadcast my kill order. I've been a fugitive ever since.
So when did I come into this? Our path together?
When Olin stumbled on you. System threat detected. That got my attention. A kill order against a savage Nora girl? Why would Hades bother with that? But then I saw that this Nora girl was wearing a focus and bore an uncanny resemblance to a great scientist of the old world. Helis moved quickly. I thought you were dead. But then I detected your focus inside the Nora mountain. The more I observed you, the more convinced I became of your extraordinary nature and usefulness. Through you, I could finally discover the secrets of the Earth. I vowed to do everything I could to ensure your success. The rest, as they used to say, is history.
You've done terrible things, Silence. But you've also done what you could to undo them. I can't say you've balanced the scale, but at least you've tried.
To be clear, Aloy, I would do it all again. A few more safeguards, perhaps, but basically the same.
Really? So much for learning from mistakes.
I've done all I can. From here on out, the rest is up to you. Take my lance. Fit the master override to it, and you have a means of injection.
Then I just need to get close enough to Hades' skull to stab it in?
Exactly.
Oh, no problem. Silence! Where will you go?
Elsewhere. And everywhere. There's so much more to discover before the world ends.
And all this?
I leave it to you, of course. As it turned out, it was yours all along. I was merely trespassing.
VOD that the... Eclipse are ready to strike. After what happened with Derval, I know he'll defend the city. But the Spire...
This path leads to the cut. The Banuk have nothing to offer besides useless mysticism. The Eclipse won't stand idle while you waste time playing in the snow. Return to your task.
Surprised you're still checking up on me. I thought you had moved on.
Well, forgive me for still being concerned with the fate of the world.
I was thinking, Banuk shamans thread blue cables through their skin, right? Kind of like someone else we know, huh? So maybe the real reason you want me to stay clear of the Banuk is to stay clear of your past.
It's not the past that concerns me, Aloy. It's the future. Or possible lack thereof. Which is why you should stop prattling and get back to what matters. But as usual, you'll do as you wish.
Touchy. Predator. I can see the heat coming off it. says. You sure you'll be warm enough up here, Nora? I've worked up a sweat from the climb.
We made it to the cut, Outlander.
Not that you'll stay long.
Smoke rising from the mountain. And the village, too. What's it for?
How are we to try? The smoke from the mountain is worse today. A bad omen for the ritual.
Must be something big going on. Most of the village is moving towards that smoke.
Get ready for a rare sight, Nora. Bergrand, purveyor of necessities. Most of the time, the Banuk burn their dead, but not today.
Because the bodies couldn't be recovered.
Aye, a nasty business. All their best warriors lost. So they're getting a different kind of send-off.
Grasp your grief, my hunters, and kill it! For our kin sees the fate all Banuk long for.
falling with their spears striking steel. Their struggle is over now. You have witnessed their spirits rise up into the blue sky and beyond to the blue light. But our struggle is only beginning. Soon, we will again take up the hunt against the daemon that frenzies the machines against us. And so I ask you, can you summon the courage of our fallen kin? Will you fight and die as well as they did?
My courage! My spear!
Our blood is in your teeth, Aratak!
We are Banuk. Our enemies are prey.
The daemon. That frenzies the machines.
Machines that wiped out their best. And what do they want to do? Go back up there. Fools. A little advice. For free.
Aloy.
Aloy. I've been up here for 2 long winters, and I still can't make sense of the Banuk. Take this ruckus. It started with one of their shamans, Ourea, spouting on about spirits and daemons up on Thunder's drum. So they march their Warwick up there, and half of them get slaughtered by machines. When Ourea vanished, I thought the crazy might have gone with her, but no. Here's Big Aratak, gearing them up to do it all over again.
Is Aratak a renowned warrior around here?
He's a Warwick chieftain. His voice carries a lot of respect. Not that you hear much of it. Man talks about as much as a dead fish. But when he and Ourea came to town with their Warwick, it drew more Banuk to this little burg than I'd ever seen. Know what else I saw, Aloy? My own little trade route, stretching all the way back to the claim. Then, he goes and leads them off to their death at the claws of angry machines. So much for my best customers.
What are these Warwicks about, Bergrand? Some sort of tribe within the tribe?
Not like our clans back home. You don't get born into these things. They hold tryouts. Prove your best at something and you might get a place. Some Warwicks come and go. Some last as long as metal. The whole Banuk territory, Banur, is just a bunch of the biggest, oldest Warwicks.
I'm not sure if I'm less confused or more confused.
Well, here's
Much of a choice in a place like this.
Yeah. A land cold enough to crack teeth, filled with wild animals. You think they'd accept a little reasonably priced aid. Well, believe me, I've tried to convince them. But a Banuk with nothing left to prove might just lie down and die.
And Ourea is the one who spoke about this daemon?
That's right. Told Aratak and the others that it lives up on Thunder's drum. And they believed him.
But you don't.
Look, I don't know what Ourea found up there. A shaman's not going to talk to an outlander. The machines in the cut are getting more vicious, that's a fact. It could be because of the daemon, or it could be because they all got indigestion, for all I know. But Ourea's not around to explain. She took off, and no one knows why.
Have you ever heard of a man named Silence? Tall, deadly serious, cables in his skin, like a shaman?
I've heard that name once or twice, but always whispered, like some boogeyman the Banuk want to forget. I'm not sure what went down, but I got the impression he messed with the Conclave. Or they messed with him.
Conclave?
All the most important shamans gather in Banur from time to time to keep up with the latest mumbo-jumbo. No idea how they all fit into one tent without those crazy headdresses getting locked up on each other. Ourea's been to that shindig, but when I asked her what it's like, She just gave me a dirty look. So if you want to know more, you'll have to find her and make her like you, I guess. Good luck.
You said you've lived out here for 2 winters?
Aye. Back home, some fur traders told me about this steel-forsaken heap of tents. Good location. Ripe for change. We were barely scraping by until this place started filling up for Araya. A great prophet is coming, they said. I heard prophet. Honest mistake. Not that the Banuk are stingy, they just prefer to keep trade among themselves. We could get through to enough of them. We could really put this place on the map. Or at least on a map.
We?
Me and my daughter. My assistant, Varja. My assistant and my daughter. We seem to get along better as business partners. Her mother wanted me to show her a trade. She started tinkering with weapons. Say, when you need a break from this Banuk carry-on, stop in and see her. You're both, how do I put it?
Women?
No, independent. Look for her at Long Notch, the easternmost Banuk camp.
I want to know more about this Damon.
It's crazy talk, Aloy.
Or there's something to it. Something connected to how the machines behave.
Then you need to find Araya. She was last seen headed for the mountains they call the Ice Rasps. I've heard only the shamans know the trail beyond those frozen peaks. But I do know where you could find her apprentice, Naltuk. He went north of the river, chasing rumors.
Rumors?
Not the good kind. Sudden attacks in the snow. Strange new structures. Some say a new machine, like no one's seen before.
Well, now I'm definitely interested. Thanks for the talk, Bergrand.
Don't mention it.
I wonder if Aratak can
On
tell
top
me
of
more
all
about
we've
Araya
endured,
or Thunderstruck.
we find ourselves beset by
Maybe worth a shot.
bandits.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were following me.
You seem sad, stranger. I heard you mention a flood?
Yes. A sudden deluge, without rain or melt to explain it. I'm Lalai, the drummer of Deep Din. Or at least I was, until it disappeared under the waters.
Deep Din. What's that?
A hollow, carved out by the old ones. A chamber, a basin, and a musical instrument all at once. My life, my calling. I'd explain it by playing for you if I could. But its pipes are deep under the water now.
A flood without rain. That is strange. Where is this place? I'll have a look if I'm in the area.
Just northwest of here. Look all you like, but I don't see what good it'll do. The floodwaters aren't going anywhere. How does one ask a river to relent?
The frost figure's clean. Claim any hunter arrogant enough to go in unprepared.
No more music. Some say Sakura's painting stuff, but I don't believe it myself. Water lapping on old stone. That's the sound to sleep to, not live to. Oh, I'm glad my father isn't around. It would torment him to see his legacy drown.
A hard truth best known dirty. The songs of the least of the same.
One day, the stone of the inn was dry. The next, the flood. Greetings. I wish I could watch you.
Okay, if I want to learn more about how this daemon affects the machines, I've got to find Maria. And to do that, I need to talk to her apprentice, who followed the river north.
Outlander! Wait a moment. That weapon of yours, Outlander, that spear. I can see the blue light upon it.
This? It was made by an acquaintance of mine.
Ah, a shaman.
No. More of a tinker?
A tinker does not understand the spark in the metal, the song in the metal like this. But it could be improved upon, modified with the help of the old ones. Far north of here there is a cave, a shaft in the snow. Within it is a nest of metal birds. Find a bird that hasn't been stripped by shamans past. Look for a rail inside it, the length of your spear. That's all I can tell you.
Get a rail from some metal birds in a cave. Sounds perfectly normal.
Any news from the hunt?
The herd isn't roaming far from the camp.
Keep them together this time.
Then we will. But I bet.
Bergren said Araya's apprentice went north of the river. Hopefully not too far. That must be Naltuk, looking out at that. Naltuk?
Who are you? How did you find me?
Bergrand told me you'd be out here.
He's persistent. I've told that Oseram 1,000 times. I don't need to buy anything.
And I'm not selling. I just need to find Araya.
Well, you won't. She's gone where only shamans can tread. She seeks guidance from the voice in the blue light. That is her task. And the task she gave me is to observe the daemon's work. To stop it spreading, if I can. But what can I do about these towers? In only a few weeks, they've sprouted throughout the cut. The daemon's energy pulses from them. Rallies the machines, even repairs them.
Aratak said this daemon was frenzying machines.
Look there. Those with the purple markings. They belong to the daemon. They're stronger, more dangerous.
I've seen something like this before. A corruption. But it wasn't from your daemon.
You have? Then you know more than I do. These towers, were they part of your corruption?
No. Those are new to me too.
Like I said, they empower the daemon's machines. They must be stopped.
Will you tell me where Araya went?
You ask a lot of questions.
Only when I'm not getting the answers I need.
There's but one voice Araya wants to hear right now, and it isn't yours. I'm sorry.
All right, you want to stop the spread of the daemon's work? I know how to get started. With my bow and spear.
Outlander, wait. Will you tell me your name?
Aloy.
Good. If you fall to the daemon's machines, at least I can properly recount your efforts to Araya.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. But I won't fall. And when I'm done, you're gonna tell me where she is. Interesting. Maybe I could override it. I'm ready. Gotta be. Getting close now to the tower. Kill the machines. Can be as little. Seems I can take care of the machines and towers. The Daemon's next.
You claimed its power for yourself somehow. Perhaps Ourea should meet you after all. What she truly seeks is hope. After what I just saw, you could show her that. She's in retreat beyond those mountains, the Ice Rasps. You'll have to walk the Shaman's path to get there. You'll know you've reached the end when you come to a shrine. A great machine covered in blue gleam. Shamans who complete the path take a piece of it as reward. If you make it that far, you should too. You'll have earned it.
You said something about blue gleam at the end of the Shaman's path?
A crystal that builds on the bodies of machines in the oldest ice. We Banuk believe it's the stuff of the blue light, frozen as it escapes their shells. You might be more interested that merchants will trade well for it.
How do I cross this Shaman's path?
Go to the Ice Rasps. Then follow the markers through the ice caves and the waterfalls, and make the climb to the shrine. But be careful. The path is meant to be an ordeal, the final trial of a young shaman's training.
And I'll find Ourea at the end of it?
No. She goes further up, somewhere inside the mountain. If you see her, would you tell her, I have faith she will hear the voice again.
All right, I guess I'm off to the ice. Wisps to find this shaman's path. This must be the ruin Laolai was talking about. Deep in. Flooded too, like she said. Snap moss. Probably came from somewhere upriver. Will the river find its source? Sounds like enough. Made them soon enough. These mountains must be the ice rasps. The shaman's path begins somewhere up above. That must be where the water's coming from. Looks like something the old ones built. Well, somebody wanted in. Really blew this entire ledge off just to get through the door.
Flooding detected. Evacuation recommended. Overflow basin compromised.
The overflow basin. Is that the dip? Looks like a control center. What happened in here to start the water flowing? And there's our troublemaker. Doesn't seem to be as good at getting out as he is at getting in. That Oseram must have forced his way through. Are you all right?
You don't know how happy you just made me. For a moment, I thought my fire was snuffed. The forge gone cold. But nope. Nope. Not old Gildan.
You're welcome. Wait. Start from the beginning. What are you doing down here?
Ow! My apologies. When you mostly talk to yourself, you can tell your stories in whatever order you like. There's an artifact in that storage room I simply must acquire. But as you may have noticed, the door won't budge. I took one of those roundish, ringy what's-its from the wall beside the door. No luck. So I had to go with that panel with the button. Even less luck. My gentle experimentation caused the chamber to flood. So I pushed the button again, perhaps a little too enthusiastically. Sparks and smoke. Now, obviously, I came here to investigate. My cautious footsteps may have contributed slightly to the collapse of a bridge. When the bridge began to collapse, I may have, for the sake of expedience, abandoned the cumbersome ringy what's-it to the waves. By the time I thought to give up the endeavor, the door had closed behind me. And thusly do we come to the present moment.
So, we need to replace that ring and get into the storage room. Then I can fix the panel and shut this place down.
And I can finally wrap my fingers around that looking glass.
Okay, Gildan.
2 sets ahead. Behind us lie up.
I guess we better. The floaters. No way I'd be able to swim.
Up ahead, girl. See the valve? Time to put our hands to use. I'll take care of this one. There's another valve on the other side to lock the gate in place. Would you mind heading across and doing the honors? You know, I'm reminded of the delve I undertook out near the plain. A stone ruin, clouds and holes, lake-wide. I've been pretty few of them. There's no wall. Great stone tower, bearing the weight of the rest above. Pulled out the smallest long row of
A tub of stagnant water. Charming.
Marvelous! You made it! Now grab that valve and give it a spin.
On it.
A little more now, and I should be able to get the blasted gate moving.
There. You should be able to lower the gate.
Huh? Right you are! Now, when I get this gate down, you'll need to turn the valve again. I want to lock this thing in place. This gate's fairly heavy. It would be, I think, in the interest of my continued health and happiness for you to lock it in place. Just turn the valve, girl. Turning and locking, that's what we're doing here.
One gate down.
Halfway through then, aren't we? To the second gate. A ladder is a rare and special thing, girl. Can depend on it to take you exactly where you need to go, and no further. I'd wager the valves for the second sluice gate are somewhere above us. How are we gonna get up there?
Let me look around. Looks like I could jump across on that rickety resting platform.
Nice jump! Nice! What am I saying? That was stupendous! Never seen such absolute disregard for personal safety.
Thanks, I think.
my MO. So, no. Heavy stuff. Switching gears. Band-Aid. We need one.
Oh, you're close, girl. Just spring across the gap. Ah, you're right above me. Just send that ladder on down.
Look out below.
Now, we've done this once before. Could be as easy as falling down a hole. If you take the valve on the other side...
It's set up the same way on this side. I should look for an access tunnel.
This is my sort of delve. 1,000 little problems to solve. And maybe my weakness is the bottom of the story. Don't make the delve harder than it is. That delve is done in half the time it takes to take it by a front around.
Uh-huh, Gilden. Okay, Gilden, turn the valve.
It's not working! Damn thing's too heavy. Glance behind me, would you? See anything big and, broken?
Looks like part of the counterweight broke off. If I can get up there, my weight might be enough to get it moving again.
Hang on, okay? I've got a plan.
Can't jump straight to the counterweight from here. But I could climb higher, get above it.
The drop's too hard!
Going down. We're good to go.
You were a sight to see. Bounding from metal rust trap to metal rust trap. Still a bit of water, but low enough, wouldn't you say? Now then, where's that ring?
Good question.
Well, at least I should be able to swim, though.
Snap maw! It's a snap maw! Very, very big snap maw!
I see it, Gildan.
Very big, very, very big!
Just stay out of the way! It's dead.
Marvelous. So, the ring. Maybe if you pry its jaws open and reach inside, I can't look.
Can't carry. You were right. This thing did swallow the ring.
That's the old Gildan. Sure, its chosen routes can be a bit What's in here? More old world treasures, perhaps? This place is full of surprises. Should we have a look?
Didn't you want to get into the storage room?
I do. Fervently. But, well, I got time to poke my nose in if you do.
We drained enough water for what we need to do, but I wonder if I could empty out the whole dam. Pipes, valves. Maybe I can drain the rest of the water from here. Sure are a lot of valves. Should check my focus first. Anything my focus could reveal. I could check my focus, see what it sees. All right, time to get the flow going to the right place.
I say this as a man typically enamored of complexities, but this looks like it might be a little much for me.
Don't worry, I think I've got this.
Music to my ears. To each job its proper tool. Toothpicks make horrible arrows, as the saying goes.
Looks like I'm on the right track. There, one step closer. Getting there. Looks like I'm on the right track.
You got a competent mind, girl. A mind for nuance and finesse. Not I. No, indeed. Not old Gildan.
There, that should do it. See if that's what
Got it working, did you? Of course you did. Never met a conundrum you couldn't unconundrum, have you?
The door's open. Guessing this must go down to the lower level. Ugh, it stinks down here.
You smell that? Smells like a forge-side morning in the
Looks like
claim.
that's everything. I should head back after Gildan.
So, as we circle back around to the matter of the supply room, Would you look at that? Ha! You've drained this place completely. Could be that this old ruin is hiding a few more secrets down below. Of course, that storage room still awaits our perusal. I can't wait! Almost there! Soon I'll hold the looking glass in my hand, just like Mom and I used to. So, as we circle back around to the matter of the supply room, I can't wait! Almost there! Soon I'll hold the looking glass in my hand, just like Mom and I used to.
Another holographic interface. It must be some kind of code. Maybe I should try scanning objects in this area. The lock positions. Helpful.
What are you doing with your hands there, girl? I can't believe that worked. I thought you'd lost your mind, tickling the empty air like that.
No space. Gilda? Everything okay?
I was so sure I saw it. The looking glass. I was so sure.
Looking glass?
My old mom found one for me when I was... It was one of the last things she... I was sure I saw it. Right there in the window. I would... Of course. Trick of the light. Nothing at all.
I'm sorry, Gildan. It must have meant a lot to you.
Oh, well... Much as any artifact of the old ones would mean to me, really. It's fine. I'm fine. Besides, What are the spoils compared to the delve? That's why we do it, girl. The delve, not the treasure. And what a delve it was! Ugh. By the great Blazing Forge, I'll never forget that. Now then, I believe we have some repairs to make.
Okay, let's fix the panel and shut this place down.
Oh, that's a whole lot prettier, isn't it? What does it mean?
It means it worked.
By the Forge! You are a wonder! Do you hear that often? I'll hazard a guess you do.
I've heard something like that once or twice.
Oh, she's modest now. A master of the arts of the old ones, a delver to shame the entire claim, and she wants to be modest. Ha!
It's not like I did it alone, Gildan.
No, I suppose not.
So what's next for you? On your way back to the claim?
And deprive the people of Song's Edge the story of this encounter? Perish the thought! I'll stay there a while longer. But a story is best told by all who encountered it. Come and lend a hand, won't you?
Overflow basin empty. Interior accessible. Minimal flood
You go on
damage.
ahead.
Sounds like
I'm
the
gonna
basin's
stand
dry
right
out,
here
too.
and bask in
Maybe I'll
our
take a look.
victory.
Water's lower. And going by that sound, I think Laolai's already at... Sounds getting louder. She wasn't kidding about the sound. Must be the Stin. You look happy to be playing again.
I don't know what you did, but the water drained in the snap of a short song. What do you think of the music?
I've never heard anything else like it.
That's because there's no other place with such... And of course, thank you for... Please.
pretty far up. The shaman's path must be rough. This must be one of the markers that Took told me about. Looks like each marker points to another, giving directions. Guess I'm heading deeper into the cold, creepy ice cave. Wrong turn. What's this chime for? To help guide the way with sound? If there's more, maybe my focus can find them. But at least there's stuff. Not this way. This isn't the way out. Some gear, though. focus can pick up the chimes. Should help me find my way. Another marker. Good. Better go back after I grab this loot. Okay, that way then. Wrong way. Wait. Back? The chime. Not sure I saw this fork before. Not this way. But then, where? Huh, I see. Up. Be careful. Okay, I'm here. Back after I grab this loot. done with the cave. So what's next on this path? Looks like it needs to fill up with water before I can cross. Around the bend we go. Across this one. Down, then up, down it is. There's the way up. I need to pull the rope to move this thing into position. Okay, the bridge is filling up. definitely something new out here. And I don't think it's friendly. Think of summer sun. Breeze through the trees. Ordering a new machine, down. Now back to finding Araya. Which means I've got to climb. Forget about traveling light. I should be able to get up there. This must be the shrine Naltuk was talking about. Guess I should take some blue gleam. Sparkles. Let's see what it's working on. I can't feel much of anything in this. Full already. Naltuk said Araya went past the shrine, up into the mountain. I'd better take those stairs. An ancient door. Maybe Araya's inside. Lots of strange equipment. What was this place? Those nodes on the floor must be connected to the door. Something. What am I supposed to do with these lights? These things turn, changing the flow of light. All right, let's see if the door's open. fresh air ahead. Out again. Maybe I can get back inside through that structure over there. Looks like I need to get to those stairs.